What's good, people? It's your boy, Icarus Green. Well, what? Yeah. And this is Gray Area Anime. Abrupt stop to the music because it's time once more for it's been 1 week. We shouldn't have left you without a dope breakdown to step 2. Okay. We're back. We missed you guys last week, but I hope you enjoyed our OVA. Mm-hmm. Coming off breaking down the OVA.
Yeah.
So, now we'll get back into the meat and potatoes.
The what?
Potatoes. What?
Every time someone says potato, tomato, as in, someone might actually say it a different way. I never really believe that people exist that say potato.
Oh, I also didn't believe there existed people who said deodorant.
I wasn't making that as a direct statement upon you. I just meant in general in the world. But if you want to go,
I was just saying, you
it can be whatever.
Hate the world when you're the world. Pot, meat, kettle.
All right. Anyway, I don't know what you're talking about, but
we're here to talk about episode 7 of the director's cut, which is Return to the Capital / self-proclaimed Knight.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. This episode is all the cringe, and I hate cringe. I have always hated cringe.
It depends on the cringe.
I know you can suffer through a lot of things.
No, I can't actually. Really, there are certain moments in The Office, like there's certain episodes I cannot watch because the cringe level is too high. It's overstimulation. I can't take it.
At least with The Office, like I know that they're gonna wrap it up. Like cringe in anime is like,
especially for Natsuki
train
Subaru.
wreck. Especially cringe in like Disney movies is oh my god, like it hurts every time. Like whenever you're getting to the climax, like Bambi's mom getting shot is cringe because you know it's coming.
I mean, you didn't know it was coming. That's what was sad about it the first time.
But I mean, like after that, like
after
the
that,
cringe of Belle's dad in Beauty and the Beast coming back and trying to tell everybody, well, he was 6 feet tall, and
and them taking advantage of the poor man.
Yeah, because when they're like, oh, it's just like stop. They think you're crazy, and that is okay. We're gonna talk about the episode now, but we had to illustrate how cringe you're gonna feel watching this particular episode of the director's cut.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've escaped all the mobbies.
Thank goodness, right?
We've
had a nice OVA. People got to play in the snow.
And now it's time to get back to work.
To the nitty gritty.
So now what happens in these couple of episodes, a lot of people get introduced. And this is the start of the royal selection. It's time to see the politics of this world and how all of that kind of plays into the grander story. They introduce it very well. So they now need to go to the Capitol. And, Emilia wants to leave Subaru at the mansion.
Yes, because Emilia
in general, because she wants to go off and do this.
She is, she's smart. Yeah. She knows that Subaru is emotional.
But well, even before then, it wasn't about him being emotional that she knew. She knew, if nothing else, that he knew nothing about what was going on.
And he didn't know how they treated her or what they thought about her. And
And so, if you'll pull up all the characters that get introduced here, because there are a ton. We at least need all candidates and their knights. So they travel to the capital because he convinces her to let him go, and in that Subaru way.
I have all that already.
They get there, and what she says to him is, "Hey, stay here." Like, so basically, I brought you here, stay here at the hotel,
please,
because
you did what you. First of all, let's talk about the fact that Subaru tricked her to come.
Yeah.
Now, I think that's an important point, because that's the part of Subaru that's becoming a problem.
Trick her initially, because the thing was, at the his point of reference, or how he's thinking right now, is, I know that thing. I don't know who sent the mob beast or the shaman, I guess as he called him, to attack. I have no idea, and I want to protect her. Now he does trick her.
He lied. He did lie. This is the part that I'm saying, like, that starts to become an issue for him. It's because he lied about his reasonings and instead said, "Oh, I want to just go to the capital to thank the people that helped me."
Yeah. So that's where which he did want to do.
It was just a convenient.
He did want to do
lie.
it.
He did want to do it, and he did end up doing it somewhat, but.
Yeah, so we'll start there. But here's the introduction of something that'll be very important overall, especially if you're reading the light novel. Promises. Mm-hmm. Promises are contracts, and contracts in this world are everything. They are not some false contract. Like when people are like, hey, that's a verbal contract, this is legally binding, and like we say that a lot. It actually means that in this world. Mm-hmm. They won't actually illustrate how important that is until much, much later. Because they don't get into that until basically the next arc, right?
In terms of what contracts
and how important
this is true. And
then,
like, when we get into that, like we said, if you're reading the light novel, you've come across this where it's like, oh, because that did make a lot of sense for us going back. Like, that makes more sense. At first, when you watch it, it almost seems like, oh, and I think
like he had a good intention.
From a cavalier kind of callous human perspective, it's like, well, he broke a promise, but he did it for a good reason. You can't do that here.
Get me not anarchist,
totalitarian.
Yep, that person.
Look, I have the full list. Would you like me to just read the list?
Get me totalitarian.
It's Crush Sama.
That's not Crush Sama. Crush Sama is military might.
Oh, you talking about crazy. Oh, okay. You talking about Priscilla, okay. Dariel.
Priscilla and Al. We're just gonna call him Al. I know it's Albernon, but we're gonna call him Al.
Al is cool. He's a cool dude.
So what happens is Subaru.
Aldebaran, yeah. I had to Aldebaran. You're right. No, I was looking for it. Like, I couldn't tell how you were.
Here's the thing that's funny about
sorry.
you.
I never read the name when she said it, and so I was like, wait, what? That is his name.
Here's the thing to take note about my wife.
Oh my gosh.
So instead of internally saying, "Oh, that's how you say his name,"
it happened.
She then has to like confirm, and like
it wasn't
she knows she butchers names sometimes.
Shut up.
And it's like, oh, let me do it right in the mic for no, like it's not adding anything to the story. I said his name. She could have been like, yes, that's his name, but she had to go as if saying Alberon, like it's
Alberon. That's his name. You're right. Like, I had never seen it. I didn't notice the spelling before.
So
I apologize.
Long story short, Subaru leaves. He is going to like the market or something like that. He's supposed to be doing something. He's looking around. Oh no, he was outside because she told him to wait outside.
He was outside she at least let him come outside.
He was outside of the castle
or wherever
And so off to the side, he sees a young lady go into an alleyway.
Looked like she got snatched.
Yeah, it looked like she got snatched. She got pulled a little bit. And enter in the three idiots from episode 1 or
hoodlums.
episode 2,
The
the hoodlums, as they call them. They do call them the hoodlums.
Yeah, the three hoodlums.
And they're like, oh man. And so Subaru does his chivalry thing.
Misguided as
his
it is.
misguided chivalry thing, and helps. And as he helps, which didn't really, this is where you start to realize how much he does not know. Mm-hmm. You realize in parts how much he doesn't know about his surroundings, but it kind of encapsulates in every action for these 2 episodes. So upon saving Priscilla, he then leaves, or because she leaves.
So no, what you want to talk about what actually happens in the
a little bit. We're gonna we move through it. So anyway, he saves her. Yeah, we don't have to get into it. Because she leaves. He
saves her.
He goes around kind of looking for Amelia again because he lost. He was trying to figure something out.
No. The first time they met is when Amelia interrupted them. Remember? So he was gonna ask her for help to find Amelia, and then Amelia came over there with Aldebaran.
Was like, yeah. I was like, how do you know? She was like,
yeah.
And so then they leave to go to the Capitol. Amelia leaves to go to the Capitol because this is when he's like, well, I don't remember how to do something. I guess I'll just hitchhike. And when he goes hitchhike, Priscilla picks him up.
Yeah.
And, now he had promised and done all this stuff to where he said he wasn't going to be there. And I mean, these are like inconsequential, sequential order things, basically, in this first part. Long story short, Priscilla is the reason that he ends up in the proceedings for the royal selection.
Yes.
Because she messy.
Oh, she's super messy.
But she enjoys messy.
Well, no, I don't enjoy messy. You mean Priscilla enjoys messy?
Priscilla.
Yeah.
No, I know not. See, that's what I'm saying.
I was just about, but see, here's the conflict of interest. I was just about to be like, but I respect her.
No, I know. Again,
that's what I was like. No, I don't like messy, but I do respect her.
Okay. So what's going on?
I just read something interesting about Priscilla that I didn't know before.
Do you not have a cap to not go too far?
What do you mean? You asked me what?
All we needed was the name.
Yeah.
That's all you needed.
And that's all I was going to give you. But you asked me a question, I'm going to answer you.
That's all you needed.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're in the judgment or the court of the castle.
Yeah, the elders are there. The knights are there. The candidates are there.
Reinhard is there, and you meet other knights. Julius, who is the knight of. Okay, well, let's introduce all the other candidates. Crush Summer is what we're gonna call her. We're gonna call her
Kirsten. That's how it's spelled. So I'm gonna say it like that.
It's fine. That'll be the thing. I'll just let you butcher these names, and I'll never correct you because you seem to enjoy it. So go ahead.
I just want to read what's there. Look, I apologize again
and
to
you can
all of
read
you out
what's
there,
to yourself.
No, I want to share it with the people.
Why? Because you just
they can learn from my mistakes. Okay. Anyway,
and they are all mistakes. But continue. You want to make them? I'm gonna let you.
You're making me start from the bottom. So Crush. Her knight is Felix or Felix. It's kind of spelled like
it's Felix, but it's still
and then there's a couple different names.
Felix, but you could go with Felix
here,
as
Felix. Cat. Then there's Anastasia, Ocean. Her knight is Julius. Yes, Julius Euclius. That's how it's spelled.
I'm not even gonna try to help you. I'm just gonna let you
the next one is Priscilla.
Gun. I'm gonna let you have it.
And that of course has Al as her knight.
And then finally the last one.
Why?
Because that's a reveal of the episode that we have to get to. Are you there?
Is that the reveal?
It is one of the reveals.
Okay, no, I'm joking. I'm joking. My
you were gonna do it had I not said something.
I was gonna do it because I thought you wanted all the information. Go on. Icarus, do your thing.
Production will get better. She just has to learn. I am sorry. I apologize. She'll level up.
Wow.
And gain productability.
I am productive. Thank you. Anyways,
Anyway, so yeah, they introduced those candidates.
You can. Never mind.
They get into like they have this long debate about what they're there for because they were called and it wasn't quite explicitly explained as to why they were there. And they're all getting a little snippy, and the stage just like, "Yo, what we here for, bro? Like, I got money to make, because she is capitalism
in its fullness.
Each candidate embodies something. Priscilla, I feel embodies not anarchy, but say it again. I can't say it.
Totalitarianism.
That. Crush Sama is military might.
Yes.
And Amelia is Obama. She's for the people.
Okay.
I mean, or sure. She's for the people. I'll say that because some people might disagree.
She's unity.
She's unity. Now they're all sitting here wondering, like, why are we having the royal selection explained to me? We're all candidates. We know what this is. In comes the introduction of the fact that they cannot start the selection, the royal selection, until there are 5 candidates, and we only have 4.
Until the 5th, what do you call them? Dragon priestess.
Yeah, dragon priestess has been chosen.
Yeah,
a potential dragon priestess because they're not. Yeah, dragon
potential.
Priestess. And so, enter the door, and here comes Felt Sama. And
hey, listen.
If you were paying attention to the other episodes, you remember that Reinhardt took her away. And there was no explanation as to why. He just took her away. But now it is introduced that she is a viable candidate for the throne. And her knight is Reinhardt.
Mm-hmm.
And see, this is what it's like when I'm able to explain things to you guys without being, hey, where are you gonna tell them about the? She's good. She's good, guys. She's good.
Not too much on me, man. Okay, get back to your story. Thanks.
So we find out that Feld is potential dragon priestess and Reinhardt's her knight, and now it's kind of explained. She's like, I don't want to do this. Like, I
didn't come here for this. I didn't want to wear this dress.
I'm not a part of this. I don't want to do
I hate all of y'all. I'm not here for this.
And it's at this point that people start to talk a little crazy. Amelia tries to calm down the situation, and people start to disrespect her. Because in this world, being a half elf is akin to being black.
Yeah. Dang.
I don't know what else to.
Okay.
And I would say like black in the 1920s, but I'm just gonna say black today.
Wow. Well,
was that too dark?
I mean, people anyway, like us.
Basically, it's a whole lot of racism in this world. Yes. That racism, classism, no sexism, honestly.
None that has been determined. Like, no, not really.
Yeah, none that I've seen.
It hasn't been
not even ageism.
Shown. Definitely not ageism.
But definitely racism and classism are rampant. And Amelia is at the height of that. Because the half elf reminds them of the Witch of Envy. She is of that line. And they fear that. And it's like what they fear, they do not like.
Right.
So they start talking to Amelia a little crazy. Subaru takes, exception to this. When they ask who he is, he says that he's her knight. And he does it in his way where he's only paying attention to the fact that I'm here for Amelia. Earlier in the episode, Amelia and Julius met and he did the knightly thing and just kissed her hand. It's not he wasn't doing it in, hey, I want you or anything. But of course, that's how Subaru sees it. Because he is immature in that regard. So just keep that in mind. So he has this whole running thing with Julius currently. This jealousy thing where he's, a little back and forth banter where, as always, no one gets what he's saying because he's talking in normal euphemisms that don't exist here. So he's starting to say that he's a knight, and like he didn't understand why they were disrespecting Amelia. he starts to be like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? Like, don't
why are y'all
disrespect
talking to
her.
her
Like,
that?
no, we don't do that. Like, if somebody's trying to do, and Amelia's trying to get him to be quiet and trying to get him to leave. And then, he says that he's her knight. And they're like, well, a knight wouldn't do that. And he's like, well, what's so great about you, pansy boy? You were born into this, that kind of stuff.
He gets out of line.
He gets
and
real
this
out
is
of
the
line
cringy moment,
and
guys.
disrespectful to knights in general. So he continues to go, and he's like, instead of just being like, okay, I understand now that I didn't know anything. He's like, oh, y'all not finna make me look stupid.
Yeah, he just
I'm gonna
rubs
make
it
you
in.
look stupid. And so to which at that point, Julius is like, well, we can square up. Not at that point, but he's he's more so like actually he stays in a sense like, so what you're telling me is that this thing that we trained for, this thing that we
devoted our lives
to, these women that we would die for at a drop of a dime, or our masters, you're saying that our service means nothing. I mean, it's akin
it's
to
easily attainable. Like it just,
it's akin just to you pick up. Joining the army and whatever people feel, fraternities, sororities, it's all that stuff to where people, it's like the Boosie thing, it's like a conversation that could be had, but won't be had because it's like you're being way more disrespectful than you understand. And even though you're going to make it a simple exchange of, well, I just wanted to do this, it's all about this. It could be about that.
Yeah.
If you were talking about it correctly.
Yes.
Not disrespecting someone's, process in general. Like whatever it is, you don't disrespect someone's process. Even if you don't understand it or don't agree with it, it's not something you had to do, but it's important to that person.
Right.
And he tramples all over that. And initially when we watched, we were just like, Julius is a prick.
Yes.
But
with a capital P.
Upon second viewing, like everything he does is just knighthood. It's just Subaru being a jealous brat and not knowing how to deal with his emotions. So I'll start fast forwarding at this point, because by the end of this episode, Julius calls Subaru out again to fight. Some other little small things happen, but again, these are inconsequential to the greater aspect.
Well,
of the story.
there is one thing that I do think is consequential that we didn't talk about, and that's Amelia's reaction.
So well, no. We'll get there. We have to get past this part first.
Well, no, I'm talking about in the proceedings.
No. I'm saying even then, like, because it's bigger. Like, this is why I mean it's inconsequential, because we'll get there, because it comes back around, at the climax. So, oh good God, he's basically gone crazy with the fact that he's been embarrassed, and so Julius beats the living. I mean,
well, he challenges him to a duel, takes him to the knights, I guess,
whatever their training quarters or whatever. It doesn't matter. He beats the living crap out
in front of all the other knights.
Yeah, to say like, and Subaru doesn't quit because he does not have quit in him, even when he's wrong.
Yes.
And so like he literally gets beat up. So then they basically come back to the council and tell them that they're fighting right now. I think we should stop it. And the stage is like, well, who's fighting? Okay, well, who initiated it? Nah, it's fine. I don't think we should stop it. Because at that point, it's men fighting for their ideals. And even though she had other reasons for not wanting to stop it, because it's just like, I mean, if he going to do that, he going to do that.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to him later. She did reprimand him for doing so, because it wasn't nightly and it didn't make money. Probably more so because it didn't make money.
Yeah.
But they fight. He gets knocked out. Well, before he gets knocked out, Amelia comes in, and then he tries to use a dirty trick to catch this level 100 knight to your level 0 skill off guard. To which he just knocks him. You got knocked out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to. Sometimes you might feel like throwing an explicit tag on the episode, and then sometimes I don't, and I'll censor myself.
Yeah, I understand.
Like the OVA, all kinds of explicit talk. But anyway, so he wakes up, and now he's face to face with Amelia, and here's where it gets the cringiest. Amelia begins to explain to him all of the things that he's done wrong. she's already had to express to him how much it wasn't helping her, how much it was hurting her, how much he had broken her promise. And I asked you to stay. You told me you would stay. And so initially, you know, they're not able to talk to each other. And I remember our first time watching and being like, well, if he just says it, he'll be okay. Like we knew we felt like there was some way for him to say it. I remember that much.
Say what?
To say what was really going on, because
that he just really wanted to save her, that he wanted to protect her.
Well, that and that he could return by death and some other things, because he really there were other things that he could have said. This is the first time when you realize that they don't really understand one another. Because as she's speaking, she's making great points. Like, you know, you shouldn't have got all crazy. And then she's like, well, if you had a reason for the things you did that you're doing, can you just tell me? And he can't, because the reason for what he's doing is because of things that he's seen from returning.
Well, at this point, he hasn't died yet.
No, so not now. But I'm saying that.
Oh, you're talking about
his
prior
general
to
process. The reason he's trying to protect her is because he understands
that somebody, like,
you know, and that's
don't like you.
But that's the connecting point of what he can't tell her. Because if he could tell her that, well, in this past life, and so, it just gets intense. And then, like, when he gets completely and utterly dejected at the fact that he can't say anything, he then goes into the cringiest speech of, not of all, but because whenever he goes crazy, he goes.
All of his speeches in this state are cringy.
And he just tells her how much, you know, you owe me and you haven't paid me back, and what can you do?
You should be indebted to me,
and you shouldn't even be blah 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 blah.
If you would just listen to me, everything would be okay.
Yeah, which he says a lot.
He does
in these past couple of episodes. Like, even when he,
we'll get there.
Come back for the next episode to get that part. But yeah, so ultimately what ends up happening at this point is they have their biggest fight, and she says, you're going to stay here and get healed. I'm going back to the mansion. You broke your promise.
We're done.
Like, we're done. Like, after you're healed, we can be done.
And that's her payback, is that she, you know, she's
like,
taking care of his healing.
You said that we need to be even. We will be.
Yeah.
You know, even if that's not completely how she feels, because she honestly does not feel that they'll be even by that. It's just,
she's just doing whatever she can. Yeah. And
so, you know, that's how the episode ends. The episode ends, I think, no. So he goes back, and, you know, this is kind of where Rim steps in a little bit. You know,
I think by the end of this episode, he's in.
Well, he's training with
Crush Summer's.
He goes to Crush Summer's house because they've made a contract with him for Felix to heal.
Yeah.
Subaru,
and Rim decided to stay with. Well, Emilia told her to stay with him, but she wanted to stay with him.
And so we end the episode wrapped up in a way of, like, he still feels dejected, but he still has this glint of, I'm going to save everything. I don't care what she said. I'm going to fix it.
Yeah. So he keeps trying to fight. He keeps trying to train with Wilhelm.
He's training. And even though at that point, like, initially he starts off with a good temperament about it, but Reinhardt comes to see Subaru at the end of the episode, and, you know, basically tells him, like, hey, why don't y'all, like, kind of make up? Because I'm sure that y'all can talk it out. And he's like, no. At that, like, his pride is overtaking him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of the episode, essentially, is his pride just overtakes him. I mean, there's other things that kind of surmise that, but it's so cringy to get to this point of, like, just building to what's going to happen next.
Now, I do want to ask and kind of make mention of one aspect that we'll probably come back to a little later. But exactly what you're saying. Like, we keep getting this hint of pride. Now, that's something that I think the first time we watched... No. I just want to make the point that the first time we watched this, that was not evident. because we were very much aligned with Subaru. We did feel like, man, Julius is a jerk. You know, I don't understand why Amelia doesn't understand him. But this second time watching it kind of put us in this more objective space, especially with the distance of the light novel. Mm-hmm. To where, like, again, like you said, they redrew his eyes.
Yeah.
To make him look scarier.
To make him look scarier.
And the pride is really coming through. That's something that definitely I did not get the first time we watched.
And you're able to adequately understand that everyone is trying to help him.
Yeah, there's really help all around
something about him. Like, everybody that he encounters sees something in him. Mm-hmm. They don't know what it is, but they also know when he's gone off from whatever they saw in him, which will come into play in
2
the
episodes from now.
Breakdown.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll see you guys next week. You go and do your thing.
Have a great week, everybody.
No, that's not your thing.
No? Oh, my thing? Oh, I thought you were telling the people to go do their thing. Sorry. You can definitely follow our wonderful host on Instagram at Icarus_Gray. You can also follow him on Twitter at Icarus Gray. You can follow me on Twitter at Prima Diva Red. No, it's at Prima Diva on Twitter and at Prima Diva Red on Instagram. You guys have a wonderful week.
We'll see you guys next time. Peace.